So I ran 6 miles twice this week, and I want to explain to you what I learned along this journey. Now, I am a personal trainer and a massage therapist, and as a personal trainer, you would think I run 6 miles quite often, or I go on jogs, long, extended jogs. But the truth is, I don't. And I don't even recommend my clients do this, the ones particularly who are trying to lose weight, because what I've learned over the years is that if you're trying to lose weight, cardio is probably one of the worst things you could do. Now, I could explain that in a future video, but as a personal trainer, having a high cardiovascular health, have cardiovascular endurance should be something that I'm particularly good at. But the truth is, I haven't ran that many miles probably since I was in the military back in 2012, 2013. But this month, me and a friend of mine who's actually ex-military as well, we decided that for the month of September, twice a week, we were going to run 6 miles. And I want to explain to you what happened to me along this journey. And I think everybody, no matter what you're doing, what your fitness level is, you should do some type of long distance cardio because of what you might actually experience along the way. So, the first time I decided to do the 6 mile run, I actually had a friend with me. He's actually a client. He actually did the first 2 miles with me, right? And he was riding one of those little motorbikes, and he was just talking to me. So I was running at a nice, even pace, maybe about 13 minutes a mile while he was with me. So as I was running, I'm running with him, and me and him were just chatting it up, having conversation. And it felt good. I haven't ran this much in quite some time. So I'm running with him, and at about a mile 75, 0.75, close to 2 miles, he left me. He ended up going to the store. And I had got into a nice little rhythm while I was running. Now, what happened is because I wasn't aware of the time and I had my phone in my pocket, which was tracking my miles, at maybe about a little bit right after he left me, I got into this beautiful, beautiful flow state to the point where I was running in the park and I noticed that the trees seemed a little bit brighter. The sky seemed a little bit bluer. And I realized this is one of the huge key elements to entering the flow state was to lose the awareness of time. Now, if I would have been constantly checking my phone to see where I was at, I probably would have never reached this state. So I'm running and I'm just feeling good and I'm really, really grateful. And I'm like, wow, this feels amazing. And as I continue to run, I got into about maybe 4.5 to 5 miles. And by that point, that feeling wore off. That feeling wore off to the point where I was starting to really get mad. I was starting to say to myself, you know what, maybe I should walk the last mile. But I decided to continue to go. But even though I continued to go, I could really feel it in my hips. I haven't ran this long in a really, really long time. I could feel my muscles starting to ache. But I decided to continue to push through. And I ended up finishing the 6 miles at about an hour and 20 minutes. And I remember when I stopped and I finished and I started to walk, I got this rush of euphoria that just hit me. And I was like, whoa, this feels really, really good. And I felt a sense of achievement. I was really, really proud of myself to run that many miles because I haven't done it in a really long time. I'm a little bit older. I'm at the age of 34 now, which doesn't seem that old. But what I learned along that journey was spending that amount of time with myself, which was particularly the last 4 miles, I kind of built a relationship with myself along that journey where I felt really, really good. I was able to reflect on, my past a little bit, what I overcame, what I need to do. And it was cool because I was able to kind of talk to myself. Now, that run was not hard at all. I ran it at about, if it's an hour and 20, it's maybe 13 minutes a mile. So it was a nice, smooth pace. Well, what ended up happening, though, the next day is my friend who I'm doing this challenge with, he sent me his mileage, and he ended up doing his 6 miles in an hour and 1 minute. And he was like, look, I did it 18 minutes faster than you. And me, I made a joke. I was like, what I said was like, maybe I'll be able to get to that under an hour by the end of the month. And one of the things he said to me was like, drop the maybe, because I said maybe and just claim it. he said, you could do this. Why not just do it under an hour? Now, for me, this challenge, just the act of running is a challenge enough. But for me to try to get it under an hour, which I probably could do, by the way, I just didn't want to do it. But the fact that he kind of challenged me made me feel some type of pride. And it actually was like, you know what, maybe I should go for it. And the act of me taking a picture of me getting it under an hour and sending it to him will probably make me really, really happy. It'll probably make me a little bit more competitive. It'll probably give me more pride in a way in what I'm doing. And it'll probably transfer to everything else I do in life. So last night, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I decided to do a 6-mile run. Now, I was talking to my girlfriend whether or not I should do it because it was 1 in the morning. I live in New York City. It's a little bit dangerous now. But she told me, yeah, you know what? Why not go for it? And especially since I didn't feel like doing it, why not go for it? So I decided to do it. And what I ended up doing was I ended up finding some shamanic music, and there was a certain drum beat. So I put the music on and I started my run. Now, when I was running, because I was listening to music this time, it was a certain beat. There was no music or anything. There was no words. As I'm listening to it, the drums just got me feeling silly. It started getting me to feel a little stupid. So as I'm running, I'm literally like, I'm running like this. Mind you, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and nobody's really out. So I'm being really slick. So I'm running like this and I'm like bothering my head. And I'm literally just talking to myself out loud. Now, if you would have seen me, you probably would have thought I was a madman. But I'm running. And when I got to the first mile, I was at 10 minutes and 2 seconds. And I was like, oh shit, I could actually get this under an hour if I could keep this pace. But I'm already huffing and puffing. I'm like, oh my God, my heart's beating really hard just to be running at a 10-minute pace. And more particular, because I'm doing all of this crazy stuff, I'm running in diagonals, I'm being silly, I'm probably wasting a lot more energy. But anyway, I continue to go. Now, what ended up happening is I ended up getting to 3 miles in under 30 minutes. So I was like, oh, can I keep this pace? And what's crazy is, as soon as I said that, the voice in my head said, I don't think you can. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I was like, and the voice actually started to talk to me. It was like, yo, look at you. Your heart's beating really hard. Your knees are starting to hurt. Your shins are hurting. Do you really think you could keep this pace? And I felt a little bit defeated because there was a voice in my head that wasn't quite me that was kind of talking to me. Maybe it was my unconscious or whatever. But I decided, I was like, no. I was like, fuck that. I could fucking do this. So as the voice would come up, I would just tell it to shut up. And I would continue to run. And then I started saying like motivational affirmations, like what Tony Robbins does. I was like, I could win. I am the voice. I'm the man. I could win. I could do this. And I just kept it up. And the whole time a voice would come up and I would just counter, I could do this. I could win. I could win. I could win. I am the man. And then I started imagining my friend running alongside me. And I imagined me blowing past him and him screaming at me saying, Lou, like, hold up. And I was like, no, the hell with that. I could win. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And as I'm running, like this energy just started to hit me. And it's like I got into this weird competitive trance, this trance of excellence. And I started to feel really, really good. And I started to feel really, really empowered. And I realized that this is one of the keys to really, really changing your life. You have to do hard things. Now, by the end of it, I ended up getting to 6 miles in like 58 minutes. And I remember when I got to 58 minutes and I got to the 6 miles, I paused it, I took a picture of it, and I sent it to my friend, and I wrote the word claimed. And I felt so good about myself. And I realized that a lot of times when it comes to just getting better in life, when it comes to just feeling better about yourself, you have to do hard things. I really, really recommend you do hard things. And for me, running is a really, really hard thing. I don't like running. You have to do things you don't like to do, and you have to push yourself. Because when you push yourself, that voice is going to come up that says you're not good enough, that you can't do it. You have to be able to recognize, oh, this is the voice. This is the reason why I'm not where I want to be. And you have to train yourself to overcome that voice, to release that voice, to become aware of the voice, to become aware of what's holding you back, and continue to push through and counter the voice. And in that moment, I was like, you could win. You could win. you could win. And I felt really, really good about myself. And it was the best I felt in a really, really long time, to be able to do 6 miles in under an hour, compared to the first run where I ran it in an hour and 20 minutes. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is I'm urging you, please do something hard. Do something that you don't like to do. Give it a try, particularly if it's cardio. Push yourself. And when you push yourself, the idea of pushing yourself is to allow that voice to come up that says you're not good enough. And this is where the training takes place, is when that voice comes up that says you're not good enough, you counter it with a positive voice. So that's the message for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you liked the video. Please comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you was able to follow. Let me know if you got any lessons from it. Also share this with a friend that needs to hear this message. And if you haven't already, subscribe now. Peace.